path, so I complete the mission. Yeah, I'll never rest, regardless of all the pain and the stress. Yeah, say it with my chest, I was destined to be the best. I'll never rest, regardless of all the pain and the stress. Yeah, say it with my chest, I was destined to be the best. I'll never rest, regardless of all the pain and the stress. Yeah, say it with my chest, I was destined to be the best. I'll never rest, regardless of all the pain and the stress. Yeah, I'll say it with my chest, I was destined to be the best. Yes.
Last house mix.
You got the laugh, then you got the applause. It's your boy Mac Mans. Welcome to the last sip. I want to thank you all once again. Let's give ourselves an applause. Hey y'all, I had to start with a laugh because it's been one of those type of days where everything has been kind of comedy to me, but we'll get serious. So before I even start anything else, I'm going to put a serious note down to you right now. All laughing aside. I'm going to start this broadcast tonight by saying to you that if you are a parent or you are a loved one of someone you care about, you don't let nobody tell you how to deal with that person, how to love that person, how to respect that person, and how to tell you how to act with that person. If you have something that's connected to you, no one should be in your business telling you how to handle business. People have the nerve these days to have an attitude for you being defensive when it comes to your children, your loved ones, your husband, your wife, anybody connected to you. And that's just wrong. It is your right to have a right to be irritated. And before I start, I had to say that. Because y'all, we live in a time now where you ain't allowed to stand up for you and yours, and that's just a bunch of garbage. So now, let's get the party started. Welcome to the last sip. My name is Mac Mans, aka Motivational Muscle. See the big cup in the back. You know how I get down, do not spill tea. I do keep a kettle with me bubbling over every now and then, but I do take the last sip. So before we get started, as usual, we got the agua. That's right. Today's show is going to be brought to you by 3M, M3. That is Mac Mans Media. That is my LLC. Y'all gonna be seeing some products and some things coming from me, your boy Mac Mans. I appreciate and love y'all so much for tuning in. Today's show is gonna be off the chain, y'all. We're gonna go ahead for what we got going on, man. It's like just the fact, man, that today is a special day because I like to take time to have y'all understand that the issues that I speak about are going to be important issues to me and to you. Because the issues that I speak about are things that happen that a lot of people sweep underneath the rug. They don't want to talk about. They're things that people don't want to really get into or they try to hide out. But I'm not the one. So my first topic tonight is going to be gangster graduations. See, lately there's been a rash of these situations going at these graduations where out of nowhere we're getting these violent things going on. I don't know if you want to call them violent objectives by certain people. I don't know if they're racially motivated. I don't know if they're gang motivated. The reason I put gangster graduations is because this is like some gang type stuff, retaliation. We got a case at Skyline High School in Oakland where the kids were graduating on the outside, had a graduation ceremony. Next thing you know, there was a scuffle between some people. Then someone left and came back. It was reported that there was a couple of, it basically was reported that there was some people in black masks that were seen hooded up with guns and stuff coming through, and they shot up the graduation. See, that doesn't make any sense. It's a graduation. Any gang affiliation, any beef, that needs to be held elsewhere. You got kids out here graduating and parents and other people. Then Kansas City, same thing. Somebody came out there out of nowhere and started shooting up the graduation in Kansas City. That doesn't make any sense to me. And there was a young lady who graduated with her child in her arms. And somebody decided to set off a bunch of gunfire at this graduation. Now, these are things that are going on, people, and these aren't things that are just something that's random. They're literally happening everywhere you see. There's stories about kids. They found a young man in Utah in his car dead by the high school. This is so irritating because these things are things that should be happening. I don't know what we think as a people here in America. I don't know what we are doing as a group, but other countries laugh and mock us sometimes because we don't seem to understand the point of being human, being humane, being loving, being people who have a heart to be considered for others. We're always about the get back, the clap back. We're always about the smack back. And it's bad. Because what that does is that just really just makes the situation worse for everybody else around us. And other countries see us and they laugh at us because we don't seem to have a compassion enough to understand that we have to heal each other instead of hurting each other. Y'all, it's not only that, but it's after the party. In Houston, the police got called to a residence at 1 a.m. in the morning. And why they got called to this address is because someone was shot. One person deceased on the scene at a graduation party. This is after a joyous moment, after a moment where people are supposed to be gathering together to celebrate someone going from being a child to being adult and on the education level and trying to aspire to do something better with themselves. But what ended up happening was somebody got something in them, maybe too much liquor, maybe some other things, and all of a sudden you got gunfire and somebody dies. Well, wait a minute. This isn't just people going at it with guns at graduations. We got other cases. In Wisconsin, I know y'all seen this story, Wisconsin, a dad goes on stage and pushes the superintendent out of the way so he doesn't touch or shake his daughter's hand. Now, if you saw the video on YouTube, the daughter literally, you can see her face as it drops. She was so embarrassed. Well, the story coming out of this is that the father and the superintendent didn't get along because it was a bullying situation, I guess, with the daughter, and the superintendent handled it a way that the father didn't like. So it stemmed into this situation. So instead of the father handling it outside of this moment, he chose the graduation to push the superintendent out of the way. What made it even look worse was that the father was white and the superintendent was black. What else hurts this school is they had a controversy before this, where a year before they had a senior picture taken where all the kids in the picture held up the Nazi sign. Basically, they did a Nazi salute in this picture. So this school itself in Wisconsin has been going through a lot of controversy. Now, I'm not making it racial. I'm not saying that's what it is. But the situation gets out of hand because of the way things are being handled. Media, even myself, we see these things and we can take it one way or the other. And it hurts because we have people that listen to us and interact with us. And then we take that stuff and we feed it to society. And if you're on social media, you see all these things and you can take it the wrong way, you can perceive the wrong way. And that is not something we need to happen. We've got to stand steadfast on this whole thing because we're going to end up hurting ourselves. We're going to end up hurting the ones that come behind us. Think about this. If you have children or young ones that you are raising or rendering and they see all this going on, do you understand the impact that has on them? You understand the impact that has on them growing up in society? See, society right now is in the toilet bowl. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to hear about it. And that's the thing is like when you speak the type of rhetoric I speak, or like I said in the last sip, I try to speak as much truth as possible. I don't know everything. I don't pretend to know everything. But I do come out and I speak on things. And the thing is, it's a lot of people out here that don't seem to understand the whole concept of making sure that you have a level of positivity and a level of contentment when it comes to making your area and your society better for you and for others, because you have others behind you that come, they see what you do. Just in this case, these mothers, I know you heard about the mothers. There was a mother in in Atlanta. Her son, this video went so viral on social media. Her son was at a kid ceremony getting certificates. So her son did not get a certificate. So she decided to go straight in. I mean, she's in front of everybody's children, grabbed her son out, cussing, and just throwing the biggest fit. Now, it was embarrassing for the young child because the fact that he has to continue to go to this school after this ceremony is up. The mom might pull him because of the way she felt. But she literally went in, I mean, a tirade of unsavory words. Her attitude, demeanor was just really nasty off the chart. You can hear the principal or the master of ceremony telling her, we can talk about this later, just give me a call. She didn't want to hear that. And I'm thinking to myself, people, and I'm speaking to black people, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. If we don't want to say that we don't want to be characterized or we don't want to be peg-holed into a certain type of stereotype or demographic, we can't live that. We gotta do better. We gotta be better than what we say we want to be. You cannot live something that you don't want to be. Don't get upset with someone else. Just like I'm going to speak it because a lot of y'all don't want to hear it, but I'm going to speak it. You can't speak about dealing with violence in your area if you're going to help with the violence. We've got to do better to help ourselves to get better. I don't think y'all heard what I said that. Seriously. We got to do better for ourselves to get better. That's the only way we're going to be able to do it. Because all of this buffoonery and all this braggadocious and braggatas attitudes we have, this gotta get mine and don't worry about you getting yours, that's not getting us nowhere. Period. It's got to stop. When we have someone that is looking out for us, regardless of what the ethnic background is, regardless of what the sex is, we've got to have respect for that. We've got to give input to make the area we're in or make the area we're dealing with better. We can't continue to go the same way. These ignorant attitudes, when I mean ignorant, I mean the lack of knowledge of, not knowing. And yes, some people use the word ignorant like, oh, they're so ignorant, because they use the word ignorant as the person, the way they act, a demeanor, and describing someone like a verb. No. If you don't seem to understand the situation you're in and how your reaction will impact that situation, you need to sit down and think about it. You need to seriously sit down and think about it. Because it does you no good or anyone else around you any good for you to have that type of demeanor on you. And for the fact you would act that way at a child's ceremony with other kids watching you, other parents watching you. Do you know how your child is perceived now? You're perceived as the problem parent. Nobody wants to deal with your child because they figure if they deal with him, they got to deal with you. And that causes a problem. Now the child is seeing this. So how you think next time he gets in a situation, he's going to react? Think he's going to think logical? No, he's going to figure the only way to get out of the situation is to go straight ham. And that's not the way to handle it. You guys, the reason I broke those first set of stories down is because it all goes back to human nature. We're living in a time till there is no more rational thinking. There's no more sitting down. There's no more kumbaya moments. There's no more people loving each other. We are so busy with this rat race we call life that we've lost our minds. I'll say it again. Y'all, we have lost our minds out here. The things we do, the things we say, the things we watch, the things we regurgitate. You can sit back and watch documentaries on things that years ago were never even been subjects ever at all. People have lost their mind. Senseless murders. Update. The lady that murdered that young boy in the Golden Eagle parking lot in Ohio, they went to sentence her yesterday. She sat in front of the judge and laughed the whole time. What are you thinking? You committed a crime that was senseless and murdered a 3-year-old boy. His mother laid up in the hospital, had to find out why at the hospital that her son was in another room dying. But because you are who you are and did what you did, you come into the courtroom and you laugh the whole time during sentencing. You guys have got to see this. And y'all, be honest, I saw what she looks like. She looked crazy for real. I'm going to just keep 100% real with you. She's like she has mental problems. That's another thing. We have so many people out here getting fed so much garbage, living so off the wall, off the kilter, so they can't keep their mind focused right. We have people that do not understand the logic of right and wrong. We are some of the only creatures available that have that. Being human, we are some of the only creatures that have that ability to think right from wrong. But when you blur the lines, as we do in society every day, it's going to cause issues. That's another problem. We don't hold people accountable when they don't think right. We don't hold people accountable when they don't speak right. We don't hold people accountable when they have the most dirtiest, nastiest actions because they're so worried about making sure everybody is okay. Nobody wants anybody to dislike them. That is an issue. That is why you have stuff like this at these graduations and at these parties, because people are so about themselves. So if you don't like them, guess what? We can handle it some other way. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of living that way. What happened to logical thinking? What happened to compassion? Now, I understand protecting yours. If you're in a situation you got to protect what's yours, like I said before I started today's podcast, that's understandable. But to just be senseless and do things that make no sense, do things that hurt people intentionally, y'all, that is a big issue. And that's something that we seriously have got to change. Well, y'all, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Now, usually I'm also on YouTube and Facebook together. Facebook, you can find me Ontario Hill, blue checkmark verified. Or you can find me here on YouTube. If you're here, thank you for following me. Thank you for tuning in. I see a lot of you. I had somebody from, I think it was Great Britain, said hello, how you doing? Hey, what's up, Untitled? What's up, M Mix? I see you. Hey, Zaire Davis, how you doing there? I'm just going through checking some of y'all out, man. I want to say hi to y'all. I see y'all tuned in. Much love, man. I enjoy you guys following me. Like I said, right now I got the 3M going. Book is coming out, Man the Broken Glass. Will be out soon on Amazon. You guys are awesome, man. Thanks for following the podcast. You got any questions? Go ahead and hit me up on the BrewLine, 501-259-6788. Always open. Conversation, comments. You want to talk to the people. Also, too, to be honest with you, I have a couple of rules about my line, because I had a couple of people call one time. They got kind of crazy. Okay, when you call the line, I have only 3 simple rules. 1, watch the profanity. 2, don't be rude to anybody else that calls in or the host. And 3, make sure that you bring something to the conversation. Bring something to the table. That's all I ask. Because, man, I love fan interaction. I love people calling in, and it's awesome. Also, shout out to Untitled for the theme song, Tribe Vibes. You can find him on YouTube as well. Check him out. It's Untitled, UNTITLED. Young artist coming up in the game. Awesome. Well, y'all, I'm going to my next subject. It is called DWI, driving while ignorant. Y'all, I gotta get a little laugh on that one. That deserves a little giggle. I'll tell you why. This subject is a subject that anybody that has a license, or maybe you don't, will understand. Y'all, the reason I call it DWI is because, like I said, the word ignorant is to have lack of knowledge of or not to know. And the way some of these people out here drive, they don't know. When you are in a motor vehicle, there are certain rules and regulations that are placed there to stop accidents, to stop injuries, and to stop road rage. Y'all, I live in Arkansas, and I don't know if y'all know about the traffic or not. I'm not comparing it to Chicago traffic, California traffic, New York traffic, Georgia traffic. But there is a thing about Arkansas traffic. We literally have people that have got their licenses out of a Cracker Jack box. I'm keeping it 100% real. There are people that should not be driving on the road. One of the first mistakes that the DMV made was now they have non-expirational license. What that is when you get a certain age, they know that sometimes you might not be able to always get back and forth to get your license or ID. So they start giving elder statespeople, men and women, they start giving them licenses that don't expire. So with the license, there is no expiration date. Here's the good thing about that. The good thing about it is if you have, like I said, a relative that can't always get all the time and they can't get there, they might forget to get the license. They don't have to worry about it. Here's the bad thing. They're not taking any more driver's tests. They're not taking any more vision tests. So you have all these older Americans on the road who are seriously putting themselves in danger and other people in danger for the fact that they have not been tested. They might not know the new speed limits, any of that stuff. And you're putting them behind the wheel. Somebody with Alzheimer's, I had a lady today tell me about her lady she takes care of had Alzheimer's. The lady went out to drive and got stuck in traffic and got lost and couldn't find her for 6 hours. That's one thing. Here's another thing. I was out driving and went to turn to an intersection. A person got mad because they wanted to go through this intersection, but the light was red. Now, if I would have went right away, I'd have got rammed through, which would have sent my insurance sky high. But because the fact I paid attention to the traffic and went in like I was supposed to get in, they proceeded to ride my butt for 5 miles. People, there's no need to do that. That is very unnecessary. Number one, if I hit my brakes, we can cause an accident. Number two, if you speed up a little bit, you're going to run through my vehicle. And number three, it creates road rage. Because if I got to get on my car to handle business, you catching a knuckle up. You catching a serious one. That's on real. That is an issue. We have so many accidents because of the way people act out here when they drive. We have people that don't use turn signals, people that run red lights, people that go over the speed limit in the area they're in. Y'all have got to be more serious about driving these vehicles. Seriously. If you don't know how to drive, get out of the road. Also, look at the guy that just had on the court with Judge Simpson. The man had no license at all and got caught driving while under suspension. But that's what we do here. We think we privileged. Driving is not a privilege, it's a right. So when you're in your vehicle, you need to respect other vehicles that are driving around you. Highways. How many of y'all be on a highway on the ramp exit coming on and there's a semi there? Now, sometimes there's nothing next to the semi so somebody can get over it. But for the fact that they're moving as fast as they can go, they don't scoot over it, you almost get ran to the median. Or you have an idiot next to them on the highway that's going so fast that they're messing around and won't let the semi over, accident ready to happen. I've seen it millions of times. or hit and runs. Y'all, the reason I brought this subject up is because there's too many times that we have people out here that don't care about you and your livelihood when they're driving. They should be out here driving. One of the rules I have is when I'm going to a shopping mall or something and I park near a car, if that car been touched up, like the front damaged up or the back damaged up, I would not park near that car. I sure don't. Because the fact that means that either you hit somebody or somebody hit you, and I don't know who was at fault. So I am not the one. You will not damage my vehicle. I don't play that. That should be for real. Y'all, a big issue I have that I'm going to speak on now before I leave is at your job. Today's podcast was just a bunch of random conversation for a simple fact. It's because I had to rant today to get things out, because as a person, we hold too many things in. The news stories about people lashing out at graduations and the mother doing what she did, talking to you about drivers who don't pay attention. These are all just forms. Like whenever I do stories, I always have it's all into a bubble for a reason. All these things I spoke to you are about human behavior and human nature. We are entitled people who don't seem to understand that it takes patience and compassion to do anything in life. Just like on social media. I've been grinding for 10 years on social media. I don't have the biggest following on Instagram. I'm okay here on YouTube, just getting going really consistently putting up content. Facebook, I'm doing good. TikTok, I do amazing. But because the content I put up is more caring, more informational, and hits hard on certain subjects, it's not something that goes through the algorithm the way everybody else stuff does. But I don't mind that because I am who I am. I don't care if you log on and say you don't like what I do. I don't care if you got a nasty comment to put down in the comment box. Only thing I care is that you're watching. Maybe one day I'll be able to change social media and change people in general from what I say and what I do. I have a gift of gab, but I also love to retain information and give it out. So with that being said, if you do anything with yourself, with your life in the next 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 hours, 2 or 3 minutes, make sure you're thinking of others with compassion. Make sure you're not making everything about you as if you're the only thing and only being that consists and you're in an atmosphere at this time. Be considerate to others. Understand what people are going through. Like the stories I first gave you at first, those stories had no compassion. Because at one point in time, somebody got mad about something and decided to come back and to dirty and soil up somebody's favorite and best moment. To shoot up a graduation or to clown out at a ceremony when someone is being represented or having a special moment is very disgusting and very selfish. To drive a vehicle and don't care what happens because you're worried about you getting where you have to go and worried about thinking that you run and rule the road is very disgusting and also ignorant. So with that being said, I want to sign off by saying show love, show peace, and show a lot of compassion. Y'all, it takes a lot for me to get on here and do this. And I want to thank y'all for following me. Follow me on Facebook, follow me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Y'all see me every Tuesday and Thursday here, MacMan, aka Motivational Muscle, on the last sip. With that being said, I want to show y'all love. Thank y'all for following me today. Thank you for the respect that you showed me today. And hey, enjoy your life. Be peaceful. Oh, one shout out, Untitled. I see you. I see you, Untitled. Oh, real quick, you guys. I will be doing food reviews This weekend, I'll be in Atlanta, ATL. Shout out to ATL. Love you guys, man, for following me. And like I said, man, much love, much peace. Podcast didn't last too long tonight because I got things I got to do. I got to get ready to pack and get out of town pretty soon. But, man, love y'all and have a good one. Peace.
All the pain and the stress, yeah. Say it with my chest, I was destined to be the best. I'll never rest, regardless of all the pain and the stress, yeah. Say it with my chest, I was destined to be the best. I'll never rest, regardless of all the pain and the stress, yeah. I'll say it with my chest, I was destined to be the best, yes.
Last house mix.